friend. It's your girlfriend, Dr. K of Girlfriendism International, and welcome to another episode of Gentle Confrontation. This series is how we are honoring Women's History Month and International Women's Day 2026, whose global theme is rights, justice, action for all women and girls. This year's call is about balancing the scales. And while the world talks about justice in systems and institutions, we are talking about justice in communities of girlfriends, because we cannot fully balance the scales globally if they remain imbalanced relationally. And we are doing this through something called gentle confrontation. In psychology, gentle confrontation is a compassionate practice of reflecting truth, not to shame, but to support growth. It is care with courage. It holds accountability and tenderness at the same time. And here at Girlfriendism, we practice both and, not either or. Two truths can exist at once. So today's confrontation is this. Is jealousy about her, or is it revealing something about you? So let's explore. Truth one, insecurity is information. Sometimes jealousy is not about disliking someone else. It can actually be about doubting yourself. Insecurity is an internal narrative that says, I'm behind, I'm not enough, I'm not chosen, I'm not as polished, I don't shine like that. And when insecurity isn't examined, it looks outward. So you may question her character when you are questioning your capacity. You may critique her confidence when you're actually grieving your hesitation. So here's a confrontation. The areas where you feel inadequate are often the same areas where you're being invited to grow. Jealousy is not proof that you're small. It is evidence that you actually desire expansion. Truth two is about projection. Now let's deepen this psychologically. In psychology, projection is a defense mechanism where we unconsciously attribute to someone else the feelings, fears, or judgments that we struggle to accept within ourselves. It's when the harsh voice in your head becomes a harsh narrative about her. If you secretly judge yourself for not being disciplined, you may label her obsessed. If you judge yourself for wanting visibility, you may label her as attention seeking. If you fear that you're not successful enough, you may decide that she's just doing too much. Protection protects the ego, but it also damages connection. So you may believe that you are discerning, and you may be externalizing your own self-criticism. Both can be true. So this is where we examine both and. You can genuinely love your girlfriend and feel confronted by her growth. You can support her publicly and struggle privately. The goal is not to eliminate insecurity. The goal is to metabolize it, to ask, what is this revealing about me? So here's a reflective practice. Ask yourself, what insecurity is being activated in me right now? What story am I telling myself about her success? Is this judgment, or is it self-judgment redirected? What desire of mine feels delayed? If I believe there was room for both of us, what would shift? This is where justice becomes relational, because when we project, we tip the scale unfairly. We make her carry what actually belongs to us. So we're going to do a 60-second jealousy reset before we go any further. So let's reset. Pause wherever you are. Take a slow breath in and another. Now think of a woman who has triggered something in you. Notice where you feel it in your body. Is it in your chest, your stomach, your throat? Don't judge it, just locate it. Now ask yourself, what does her success represent that I desire? And say it quietly. I desire X, Y, or Z. Not that she shouldn't have X, Y, and Z, but I desire. And just take another breath. Jealousy is not a verdict, it's a vision. So instead of shrinking, expand. Instead of criticizing, clarify. And instead of projecting, own your stuff. Now ask yourself, what is one small action I can take this week towards what I desire? That's the reset. Jealousy can become direction instead of division. Now here's where assumptions erode. Unchecked insecurity creates assumptions. And you may find yourself saying things like, she's changed. She thinks she's better. She forgot about us. But often she's just evolving. And your discomfort is not betrayal. It's actually activation. So instead of assuming, try asking, how are you navigating this season? Curiosity dissolves projection, and ownership restores power. So try this instead. Instead of criticizing, think of, I notice your growth is bringing up something in me, and I think I need to explore that. Or instead of withdrawing, think to yourself, I'm so proud of you. And I also realize I've been feeling a little insecure lately, and I don't want to create distance. Instead of projecting, I think I'm being triggered because I want something similar. That is emotional maturity, that is accountability, and that is balancing the scales within yourself. So if this year's call is rights, justice, action, then relational justice means that your insecurity is your responsibility. Her brilliance is not your threat. When women unconsciously compete, we reinforce scarcity systems. When women consciously celebrate, we accelerate collective progress. And celebration is activism. Our Girlfriendism Global Pledge says, I pledge to celebrate the brilliance of other women. And celebration does not mean that you never feel insecure. It just means that you refuse to weaponize your insecurity. Jealousy can become clarity, and insecurity can become insight. Projection can become ownership. The question is, girlfriend, will you defend your ego or will you develop your evolution? If this conversation stirs something in you, then that's the work. Gentle confrontation is not just content, it is practice. And practice requires community. So I invite you first to take the Girlfriendism Global Pledge. For $1, you declare your commitment to love, accountability, truth, and liberation in communities of girlfriends across the globe. But don't stop there. If you're ready to go deeper, to intentionally unpack your insecurity, to build emotional intelligence, and to transform jealousy into direction, and even work one-on-one with me, Dr. K, I invite you to explore our membership tiers inside the Girlfriendism global community, because healing requires proximity, growth requires structure, and transformation requires investment. So take the pledge, become a girlfriend, and explore the membership that meets you where you are. And help us to build this new ism as we aim to connect 1 million girlfriends across the globe so women everywhere can live well in love and liberation. This was another episode of Gentle Confrontation, where truth meets tenderness, where justice becomes relational, and where girlfriends grow on purpose. Until next time, it's your girlfriend, Dr. K, always in love and always in liberation.